Hello everybody, and welcome to your 29th annual Tucson Turkey Shoot virtual players meeting. Put this together for you so that we can run through the ins and outs, ups and downs of the turkey shoot, so we can hopefully limit some confusion on the day of the event tomorrow, Saturday the 29th. Before I jump into a few things, I also wanted to mention that we are going to be using UDisc scoring for this event. Since it is the first time that we're using UDisc for the turkey shoot, we're also going to be using paper cards in addition to that. So you will have to keep score on UDisc and on your cards. So make sure your cell phones are charged. Maybe bring a charger with you if you got one, and so forth, so that we can knock that out. And again, we appreciate all your patience. That I know that doing both may be a pain in the butt, but using UDisc really helps the TDs and the event supporters with getting scores done, so we can get payouts done and get to the fun part, which is the James Salusi Ring of Fire extravaganza. So thank you again for your patience with that. All right, so there's three things that we want to discuss. We want to discuss lay zeros, consecutive pars, and aces. Let's jump into lay zeros. Lay zero. What is a lay zero, you may ask? Well, lay zero is similar to a mando, except it's not mandatory. What you will see out on the course is construction ribbons strung across trees, maybe from one limb to another, from a trunk to a trunk, from a tree to a tree, and they will look like mandos. You have the red course, the white course, and the yellow course. So when you see these strung across from a tree to tree, and when you look on your instruction pamphlet that you'll see lay zeros for certain holes. The objective is to take your disc and throw it through the lay zero just like you would a mando, if you choose to. Now, if you choose to and you make that lay zero, when your disc comes to rest, you're starting from a zero score. Just like you just threw from the tee, you're starting from a zero. So if you're 5 feet from a basket and you can tap that in, that would be a 1 on the card for that hole. It's not an ace, but it is a 1 on the card because you made your disc shot through the lay zero. Now, the next question people get is, well, how does that work with an ace? Well, if you manage to throw your frisbee through the lay zero and it skips or goes all air right into the basket, you guessed it, that's a 0. You get to put a 0 on your card for that hole because you made the lay zero and you got right into the basket. And depending on the hole, obviously that counts as an ace. Now, what I mean by that is there is some holes on the course that are just too short, and we don't consider them aces. It's just a birdie if you make it, and that is all marked on your cards and on the instruction pamphlet that we'll be providing to you. All right, if you have any questions about this the day of, feel free to let me know. I'll try and run through them real quick in the players meeting. Next thing, consecutive pars. Right now, I believe John Wagaman still holds the record of 42 consecutive pars. I challenge any of you to beat that record. It's not as easy as it sounds. So what that entails is, depending on where you start your round, let's say you start on hole 8, you would count how many pars you get from hole 8 all the way through to the end of the round. Now, if you start over again, let's say you only get 6 on your first round, but you get 10 on your next one, it still starts from your hole 8 and however consecutive amount of pars you get from that point. So theoretically, you could start on hole 8 on your first round and you could par the entire thing out. But what you're going to want to do at the end of the round is find your starting position and figure out how many consecutive pars you got and write that down on the card. There's a little location on your cards that's for consecutive pars specifically. Write that down. If you think you've got a competitive amount of consecutive pars, let us know when you turn in your card and we'll put you down on the list. It is a cash prize for the consecutive pars. So you're going to want to count those up and see if you're in the running. Next, aces. Everyone, when you entered, you purchased and bought in to an ace pot for all 3 rounds. Typically, we have 1 or 2 per round, so everybody's already bought into that. If nobody hits an ace in a round, it just rolls over to the next round and so forth. We're going to have a ace sheet. So after every round, if you hit an ace, what I need you to do is come over to Tournament Central, write your name and the whole number that you got on the sheet for that round, for your aces, so we can keep track of who got an ace on every round, and then you're going to get paid out cash. That pretty much touches on everything. So what I'm going to do is kind of go over the schedule a little bit. The plan is to tee off at 9 o'clock. As soon as our first round is done, we will immediately jump into the second round. Offer up any questions. If anybody has any questions or anything before we start, let me know. We'll have like a short little players meeting just to double check with everybody. But we're going to jump right into that second round. Hoping to be done with the second round by noon, 1 o'clock-ish, and then we'll break for an hour lunch. So everybody can go get a lunch, relax, chill, hang out for a little bit. As soon as that hour lunch is up, we'll jump into that third round. And then we want everyone to stay and hang out for the James Salusi Ring of Fire Extravaganza. Thank you to everybody that is donating some swag, some discs. For that, it always is one of the funnest and best parts of the turkey shoot is the Ring of Fire. James Salusi's been running that for quite some time now, and he always makes it a super fun thing. So you're going to want to hang out and enjoy the Ring of Fire afterwards. We'll be doing payouts on PayPal. So yeah, hang out so you find out if you won, and then we'll get you guys paid. If you have any questions the day of, let me know. When everybody arrives, you're going to want to check in on UDisc. So as soon as you get there, open up your UDisc app, get yourself checked in. If you do not have a UDisc, I've already checked you in. You're good to go. You don't need to do anything when you get there. Just figure out what card you're on if you don't already know. If you don't know what card you're on, there will be a sheet there available for you to look at to find out what card you're on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but if I am, hit me up via email or find me the morning of, and we'll get everything squared away. Thank you, everybody, and can't wait to shoot some turkeys. Let's go.